Welcome to week 16 of Over and Under. Man, the weeks are flying by like crazy. Playoffs are right around the corner.
Skipping a hop.
What a hell of a week we had last week, Justin. I would have had a great week. I would have finally cracked 11 wins in 1 week, picking the spread. And I stuck my foot in my mouth, didn't I? I had them. I had 10 wins last week. I was very proud of that. I've only done that 3 times this year. That's a really pretty hard thing to do, to get 10 wins and picking the spread. I've done that 3 times. Like I said, I would have had 11, but like I said, I stuck my big foot in my mouth with the Jaguars game. I had the Jaguars picked to cover the spread. They ended up winning the game. Of course, you all know that I've changed my mind and went over. Under, and they went well over. They blew it out. They scored like 70 points.
I didn't see that one coming.
God, it was wild. But congratulations to the Jaguars. And just so happens that's what we're starting out this week's first game is the Jags against the Jets. Jets are favored by 1.5 at home. Over and under 36.5. I'm not betting against them this week, and I'm not changing my mind. I'm not picking no over and under bullshit. I'm taking Jacksonville to win this game. I think Jacksonville's on a roll. I think they're more than up and coming. They might even be, if they get in the playoffs, who knows?
This chance to beat anybody.
Hey, this quarterback's playing pretty damn good right now. And hey, if he gets any better and the team gets better, keeps doing what they're doing, they're going to continue to win. I'm taking them to win to upset the Jets at home this week, Justin. Jets are going on a downfall right now.
They are.
I really think they are.
This is a pick'em game. I don't know which way to go with this one.
It's a must-win for both of them.
It is. I'm going to be safe with this one. Both teams got good defenses, but I think it's going to go over. I'm going to take the over that 36.5 points.
I thought that as well last week. I'm thinking, Jacksonville's got a good defense. Dallas is known for their defense. They got a great defense, and my God, they scored 70 points.
It blows me away if a game does not go over at least 35 points.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing to me.
It is wild. Boy, that one went to 70 almost, I guess, last week. What a game. Anyway, once again, congratulations to Jacksonville, and do it again for me this week. All right, let's move on to our next game. The Giants versus the Vikings. What a win the Vikings had. Man, unbelievable. I looked at my phone, 33-0. I go, oh, my God, what's gotten into the Colts? And then I called my nephew here later on. He goes, well, you better not be getting too happy because I think they're going to lose. And I, what?
So I said it at halftime. It was 33-10. They scored a touchdown, made it a 14-point game. At that point, I knew something was up with that one.
Oh my God! What an upsetting day that was for me. I hated. I'm happy that the Vikings won. I like the Vikings. I think they're a good team. And I like to see them do something. Hell, they've been to 4 Super Bowls and lost all of them. They deserve to win one, and it made me happy to see them.
There was a lot of miscues by that team in the first half. I knew their offense was coming.
Yeah, that's.
I figured the Colts would score somewhere. Unfortunately, they didn't. But I knew the Vikings were making a comeback. I just didn't think it'd been the full comeback.
I was completely blindsided by that.
They won it in overtime. I thought they were going to come up short in regulation.
You know what? To be fair, old Matt Ryan would have had a first down, but they blow the
advert whistle.
Yeah, that whistle was really early. He's still in motion going forward, and they blow the whistle. Stop him. Anyway, that's water under the bridge, and we'll see what happens. I'm taking the Vikings this week, though, to cover, Justin. I like the Vikings. I think they're playing at a high offensive level. They just got a slow start last week against the Colts, but I like them. The Giants, I have no faith in the Giants whatsoever. I'm taking the Giants. I'll give you the Vikings and give you the 3.5.
Both of these teams on a wild comeback and an upset on Monday Night Football. I picked the Giants to beat the Commanders, go into Washington. This game, I don't know. Weird lines, 47.5. That's a lot of points. I really don't know which way to go with this one, Brian. I think the Vikings ultimately win this game at home, but I'm going to take a slight bold one. I don't think they score. That's a lot of points to me. I'm going to go under that 47.5 points.
Wow. All righty. Let's move on to our next game, the Saints versus the Browns. Browns covered for me last week, and I'm taking the Browns again this week. Most people I've talked to are all over the Saints. They think the Saints are going to win. The Saints are actually still in the hunt in that horrible division of theirs. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm taking the Browns. I like the Browns in this game. I think they got a better offense, about the same defense, and they're at home. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Browns.
Am I looking at that correctly? It's 32.5 points.
That's correct.
That's mind blowing. I'm most definitely going over that 32.5. No second guessing on this one. This is another pick'em game for me too. I don't know which way to go with it, so I'm gonna take over that 32.5 points.
All right, let's move on to our next game. What about these surprising Detroit Lions? But once again, they're the best team to bet on. They cover more than anybody in the NFL. I've been saying that all year. They did last year. They're doing it again this year, and they're on the winning end of most of these games now. They're 7-7 right now.
That good young core's pulling out a few games late in the year.
They're actually favored at home, and they're favored on the road. I'm sorry, against the Panthers, and that's mind-boggling. Detroit favored on the road. When was the last time that happened? I don't know, but anyway, I like Detroit. I'm taking Detroit this week all day long, no doubt about it. I don't have no faith in the Panthers. You never know who's quarterbacking from week to week with them. I'm taking Detroit all day.
I think I'm going to take Detroit, too. I'm going to give you the 2.5 points. They've started to pull out those close games that they've been covering earlier in the year. I think they win this one handily. I think they win.
A lot of people forget Jared Goff did take the Rams to the Super Bowl. He did get them there. I mean, they said he was just down there for the ride.
I think most of Detroit's problems, Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl with the Rams, but I think he hurt the Lions more than he did. He was a below-average quarterback that stat stuffed in a bad with a bad team. He showed that this year before he got hurt, before he got injured. I think that Super Bowl team was mostly a defense, honestly.
Yeah, that was a great defense, no doubt about that.
And he had weapons. He had weapons all around him. It was just a good, well-put-together team. I think Jared Goff is going to flourish.
He's looking good. He's playing pretty decent, man. And they got some explosive offensive weapons. They're a little running back.
He spreads the ball around. Yeah. Is why that offense is rolling so good. It's not one person. It's not two people. It's that whole offensive core. Wide receivers and tight ends. He's got running backs catching out of the backfield. I think they win this game. They make the playoffs, and you better watch out for the Lions.
Hey, I agree with that. Hey, they almost beat the Bills. They did.
They took them neck and neck. They did.
They surely did. I like Buffalo. Yeah, I like Buffalo as well. But I love Detroit. And Detroit is a scary team. I wouldn't want to face them in the playoff first round.
They really are.
They're explosive offensively. All righty, so we're both on the Detroit. Let's move on to our next game. Probably the hottest team in football.
The Bengals are the hottest team.
They didn't look at early in the first half against Tampa Bay last week, but boy, they're winning, man. Bengals are 3.5 point favorites against the Pats. Over and under is 41.5. I took the Bengals last week. They covered for me. I'm taking them again this week. I like them. They're a hot team. They know playoffs are almost here, and they are running on all cylinders right now. I like the Bengals all day in this game. I'm taking the Bengals.
Bengals pull one out against Tampa Bay. There was a lot of comebacks last week. That was wild to me. I think they win this game. I think Tampa Bay shot themselves in the foot. Way too many turnovers. Absolutely too many turnovers. You'll never win doing that. I think they go into Boston and win this game. I'm going to be safe, though. I think they win by more than the 3.5 points. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to take Cincinnati's money line.
All right, let's move on to our next game. My beloved Bears and my buddies' beloved Buffalo Bills.
It's going to be a wild Saturday.
We're in a war this week, yeah. I tell you what, the over-and-under is 40.5. I don't understand that. Is there something I'm missing? Is somebody hurt? Whatever. I haven't seen anybody hurt.
I think it's the weather.
I think it has to be the weather.
It's going to be in the negatives in Chicago.
So I guess they're looking both teams going to run the ball. But you know what? It's cold up in Buffalo. They scored like crazy last week. I'm going to go ahead and take a bold move. I'm taking over 40.5. How about that? That's what I'm doing. Over 40.5. That way I don't have to bet against my Bears. Bet against my buddy's team. I'm just going over 40.5.
Well, I think there's not a pick you can go wrong with this one unless you take the under on this 40. But I think Buffalo wins this game. I think the Bears cover that 8.5 points. And I think they go over. I'm going to go with Brian and go over. I'm going to take Buffalo's money line, and I'm going to go over that 40.5. But I think the Bears cover. That's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points. And the Bears got a good offense. All right. Move on to our next game, Houston versus Tennessee. Houston, they covered for me last week. I took Houston, and that 14 points against Kansas City looked pretty damn good.
I took the money line. I kept saying
pretty damn good bet. Anyway, they're 4.5-point dogs at Tennessee. I don't like that at all. Even though Houston looked really good against Kansas City, they played solid defense. They got some good players. I know this is a divisional game. Tennessee has been in a slump the last couple of games, and it's playoff time. It's time for them to shake up their lineup and get down and do their thing, and I think they're going to do it this week. I'm taking Tennessee. I'll give you the 4.5. I think they win by 7 or 10.
I wanted to take Tennessee in this. As much as I've looked at it this week, I want to take Tennessee, but Houston has been playing way too many close games with good teams.
Good teams.
And they've not pulled out a win yet. I don't think they do this week either. Tennessee's at home. It's very hard for me to take. Tennessee's a playoff team if they're playing.
They are.
Tennessee football. If they're running Derrick Henry, the offensive line's holding up. Tannehill's not throwing interceptions. Tennessee is a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, they got a solid defense.
They got a really good defense to complement that offense. I don't think Houston beats them this game. I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to take Tennessee's money line just because they're at home.
All right, let's move on to our next game. Seattle versus Kansas City. Kansas City's giving up 10 points. They're favored by 10.
Every week, some crazy lines.
They never, ever cover.
They
cover. They're one of the worst teams in the world to bet on. I mean, they
it's
win.
So big. It's so big of lines too. Their spread is always.
They give them a I mean, that's just because they're so good. They got a great team.
They're probably the best team in football if they're playing good. Bills are 1A, 1B, but
the bookies give them.
They do. They give
tons
them
of respect.
Way too much respect.
Tons of respect. You know what? They probably blow out Seattle this week. I don't know why. I just got a gut feeling. I'm going to go ahead and take Seattle. I'm taking Seattle to cover. I'm going to give me the 10 points. I'll take Seattle, Justin.
Kansas City's got to cover one of these. I think they do it this week. Seattle's on a slide too, I think. Start of the year, they were playing really good. Not so much the second half of the season. I think Kansas City wins this by 2 touchdowns. That 48.5 is a lot of points. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Kansas City, and I'm going to give you that 10 points. This is my bold one for the week.
All righty. Let's move on to our next game. The Falcons versus the Ravens. Ravens are favored by 7.5. Whew, that's a lot. Over and under is 36.5. I like the over in this game. I'm going to go ahead and take the over 36.5. I'm going to keep it real short and simple. Over.
I think the Ravens score 4 touchdowns. I can see the Falcons getting a couple scores, 10 points. I can see a 28-10 the game. I'm going to take Baltimore's money line because they're at home, and I'm going to go over that 36.5.
All right, that moves us to our next game. God, every time I look at Washington, my God. I had 10 wins last week. You would think I'd make some money. I made a little money, but I should have made a lot of money, and here's the reason I didn't. Washington. I had them in 4 different parlays, and my God, they destroyed me, man. They destroyed me. I had a lot of faith in them winning this game at home. My God, you would think they're playing for everything, all the marbles, but man, didn't work out for me. Of course, they got beat by the Giants. They're getting 7.5 against one of my favorite teams and one of the hottest teams in football is the 49ers. Over and under is 47.5. That is a lot of. Is that 37, right? 37.5. Okay, I was going to say, my God, I'm going blind there. Because I'm taking under all day in that one. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead 37.5. I hate like crazy to do this. Man.
That's a weird in-between.
That is an in-between. I'm going to go ahead. I'm taking over in this. I'm going to take over 37.5 in this game.
Brian took Washington last week on the podcast. I took Washington too. But before game time, I switched my pick. I actually won that one. I think Washington's in a slide too. They're not going to beat the 49ers at home. That 37.5 points is a weird number for me. I think it's in the middle. I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to take the 49ers money line at home.
I mean, they both got great defenses. That's
do.
where that comes from. I mean, that is a whole lot. That's a wild line. You know what?
I would, if you pump it up to 40, I would take the under, but that's a weird number for me.
That is a weird number.
That's a weird
And you know what I'm going to do? I have one safe game a week that I don't pick the spread, and I'm changing my bet, Justin. I'm just going to go ahead. I am going to take. No, I'm not. I'm taking Washington in the 7.5. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going
Can't
all
talk
the way.
him into a safe.
I'm going all the way around. I'm going taking Washington in the 7.5. That's what I'm going to do. Hate to do it. Don't feel comfortable doing it, but I'm doing it.
I only feel comfortable. I'm being safe with that 49ers money line.
All righty. Let's move on to our next game. The Eagles against the Cowboys. Big game. Big game. Jalen Hurts is hurt, so Gardner Minshew will be starting for the Eagles. He's a pretty good quarterback. He's not a bad backup whatsoever. I like the Cowboys. 4.5. Give me the 4. I'll give you the 4.5. I'm taking Cowboys all day.
For some reason, they've not adjusted this line, but logic says Jalen Hurts don't play. He's hurt. They've pretty much they're number one seed. I think they've.
It'd be stupid if they play this.
It
man.
would be idiotic to play him. This is not a game that is going to decide much of anything. Therefore, I don't know why that line. I would say bet it earlier in the week, because if he don't play, that's going to jump tremendously. It would have to. So I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to take Dallas's money line. This is a weird game, but I'm going to be safe and take Dallas's money line.
All righty. Let's move on to our next game, and it hits my Raiders. What a game they won last week. Was that so stupid? Bill Belichick team doing some stupid shit like they did last
It's
week.
things like that I say almost every other week. Or
It's
if
a
every
setup.
week, it's a fucking setup.
It's wild. Anyway, I don't
There's
know.
too many dumb things that happen.
they're-
And some of them.
They're playing the
You don't do
Steelers. Steelers are 2.5-point favorites. Before I get on with this game, I want to give out condolences to the great running back who passed away for the Steelers, Franco Harris. One of my favorite running backs growing up. I loved him, man. His running mate was Rocky Blair. I remember the immaculate reception against these same Raiders in the playoffs.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Coincidences.
man, he played with the Steel Curtain. Great team. Big loss. And I know the Steelers are going to be playing with some emotion and all that. Raiders are still, can actually still slip into playoffs. That's amazing, isn't it?
They're the most inconsistent team.
They are.
I don't know. I've stayed away from them all year. Gratefully, I could have lost my ass, or I could have won a lot of money off them, but they're very, very, very inconsistent.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Steelers, man. I think they're going to be playing with some emotion and, a tribute to Harris. I'm taking the Steelers all day in this game. I really do. I like their defense. I know the Raiders, like he said, they're so unpredictable. They could be extremely explosive. And then you see when they play Kansas City. And then they could just be duds. So you never know what you're going to get. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the Steel Curtain. You know what you're going to get there. They're going to run the ball, play solid defense, and they're at home. I'm taking the Steelers.
Brian, this game, I don't know. Raiders are so inconsistent. Like I said, I've stayed away from them all year, gladly. I think if the offense is playing up to par, Raiders blow this game out. But with that said, I'm going to be safe. And 39 points, both these teams can score if they're playing up to par. I'm going to go over that 39.
All right. Sound bet, it sounds like. All right, let's move on to our next game. This game right here cost me, this team last week cost me some cash, the Packers. Oh, my God. You know what I did? I got to tell this story right quick. I'm at work, and I'm looking at my phone, and I had under, all right? And they were 4 points away. A field goal would keep me under. I'd win $100 and some $133. Over field goal, I lose. They get down to the 2-yard line. Of course, I'm not around the TV. I can't see nothing. They get down to the 2-yard line. I have to look. Oh, my God, I better cash out. I looked, and you know what? They offered me a cash out for $59. I had a $55 bet. I took it. They kneeled the ball 3 straight times. My God, I felt like a damn idiot. But anyway, they kneeled the ball and cost me my cash. Anyway, that's the story I wanted to share with y'all. I do some stupid shit sometimes, but that's the way it goes in football. Packers versus Miami. Packers are getting 3.5. Miami played extremely well last week against Buffalo. I like the way the Packers looked last week. They looked like they was more into it. The receivers were more on the same page as the quarterback, and they played pretty decent. They could have actually won by a lot more than what they did. Like I said, they kneeled the ball. Playoff time. I'm taking the Packers, man. What the hell? Might as well. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Packers against my better judgment because Miami's so explosive. I'm taking the Packers.
These lines
and the money and the 3.5.
These lines are weird to me. That 48.5 points is a lot of points, so I'm staying away from that. Playoff push. This is a pick'em game to me. That 3.5 points, I think it might be closer than that. I'm gonna be safe, and I'm taking Miami just because it's at home, and that's the only reason.
Hey, every team out there, just about is playing for their playoff, hopes. I mean, if Packers lose, it's over with. They're done. They have to win all the way out if they even have a shot. So I don't know. It's a tough game. It's their playoff game.
Schedule.
Yeah, they do. But like I said, hopefully the Packers will pull it out and cover for me. We'll see. I love this game. Betting this game this week, Justin. Broncos versus Rams.
That was my big one last week.
Broncos are actually favored by 2.5. Is Wilson back this week, or is he still in protocol?
He's still in protocol.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm taking the Broncos all day to beat the Rams. I'll give you the 2.5.
I'm going the same way. I bet big last week on my Broncos, and they pulled through for me. I'm going to go the same way this week. I never touched the spread, but I'm going to take my Broncos going into L.A., and I'll give you the 2.5 points.
All righty, let's move on to our next game. Tampa Bay versus Arizona. Tampa Bay favored by 7.5 on the road. I can't believe that. Even though Arizona looks horrible, I'm not going to. There's no way I'm taking that 7.5. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you that. I'm not doing it no way, shape, or form. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Arizona and give me the points. I don't like the way Tampa Bay looks at all. I have no faith in them in any way, shape, or form. They can play one half great, and then the rest of it's over with. They probably win the game, but I don't think they cover the 7.5. We'll see, though.
Tom Brady has never been one of my favorite quarterbacks. Coming from rooting for the Broncos and our hometown Colts throughout the years, but I bet with him all year. They never hit the over for some reason. They can be explosive. They had the weapons to do it, but for some reason they don't. I think he's lost a step. I think they win this game though. They played a red-hot Bengals team last week and absolutely destroyed them in the first half. The second half, they shot themselves in the foot over and over and over. I don't think they do that against this Arizona team. They're on a slide, and I think they're going to continue to slide. I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to take Tampa Bay's money line.
All righty, let's move on to our last game here, Justin. It's our sorry-ass Colts. Chargers versus Colts. Chargers are favored by 4.5. Oh, I want to take the Colts again. I swear to God I do. But I'm going to go ahead and take under the 45.5 is what I'm going to do. I'm going under 45.5. Even though they scored 33 points last week, I think it's more, I think Chargers got a better defense. I'm just going to go ahead and take the under 45.5. That's what I'm going to do.
I think after last week, Jeff Saturday is not going to keep that coaching job.
I like Jeff Saturday too.
I think he's done a good job, but you can see the inexperience in there. I think the Chargers blow the Colts out. It's in Lucas Oil, in a dome. I think Justin Herbert has a big game. That 45.5 points is a lot of points to me. I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to take the Chargers money line.
All righty.
No, excuse me. I'm going to take the 4. I'm going to give you the 4.5 points. Sorry.
All righty. Well, that was our last one. Thank you so much for joining us. And before we leave, please, hey, man, help us reach our goal. I want to give a shout out to Patrick Doyle. Thank you so much, brother, for all the help you've done. You've generated me some subscribers, and I truly appreciate it. I wish all my brothers and sisters would be like Patrick Doyle and do the same thing. I wouldn't be asking again this week. I'd already have my goal. So please, man, help me get my goal. I need 21 more subscribers so I can come back next year. If I don't get 21, I will not be back next year. So if you want to help me and you enjoy our show and we'll give you some good picks, you think so? Please help us. Hit the like button, subscribe, get your friends, family members, anybody you know Get our content out there. Help us get some subscribers, please.
We got a few weeks to go.
We got a few weeks to go. Like
With
I
the
said,
playoffs, I
21
think
more. If not, we won't be back next year. So if we suck at it, then don't do it. But I think we're pretty good at it, and I want to be back next year. So please help us out. And God bless everyone out there. Have a great and safe Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a happy New Year. We'll see you next week.